Hello, you're welcome to my channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this easy free dress, a gown with a blanket in front of it. If it's something you want to learn, please let's keep watching. To make this, I used like 4 yards of Ankara fabric or 4.5, depending on the person's height. Ankara is by 45, and since it's a full cut together, you need a full length for it. Okay, like the length of this person is 60 and I have to use like 61 or 62 for the length. So you're going to measure your Ankara, you measure your first 60, you measure another one. Okay, you slit in two and fold together. This is on fold, and I want to point out here that you need a zipper allowance for this. I actually forgot to put a zipper allowance, but I had my way of fixing zip even without zipper allowance. There's a way you could manage the fabric. Okay, and that's the advantage of having excess allowance. Okay, so now I've marked out my baseline. I'm going to take my chest measurement. That's my shoulder to my chest line, which is 8.5 in this case. Then my shoulder to my half length, which is the waist length, I used it's 17, but I use 17.5. I'm adding 17.5 because I'm drafting directly on the fabric. The waistline to the hip line, I used 9. By the time I'm done sewing, I'm going to have 8.5. Okay, so I'll mark. Please note that measurement varies depending on the person's size or the person's body you're working with. Okay, so now I'm going to add my shoulder, the shoulder measurement. Please use your shoulder measurement. I used 8, it's 7.5, but I used 8. That's because, like I said, the fabric is the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to connect like so. I'm just cross-checking if it's okay. So here I'm going to take 1 inch slope. Again, this is because I'm cutting directly on the fabric. If I'm doing a pattern, my front slope is always 1.5, the back 1. Okay, so I'm going to mark the neck depth, the neck width, sorry, 3. The depth for the back is 1. For the front, I did 3. Okay, so mark out. I'm marking out for the back first. I'll connect like so. Then I'll proceed to mark for the front. 3 is for the front. Then I'll connect. So I'll proceed to put my bust measurement. I did that 10.5. The bust is 42. So the waist measurement, the waist is 38. Just divide your tape, put the tip of your tape to where the measurement is and divide it by 2 and divide again. If this is your first time, this is how it's done. You get your accurate measurement and you impute it. That's for the waist. And I'm going to put the sewing allowance I added for this is 2 inch. Okay, I'll proceed to add the sewing allowance for the waist as well because I've added for the chest line. So I'm going to add my hip measurement and add 2 inch as well, sewing allowance. Okay, so I'm just going to connect my lines with my straight ruler. If you have a curved ruler, you use. Connect from the waist to the hip line. Then from the hip line down to the baseline, just like that, is a straight. Okay, the straight, whatever I have on the hip line there, that's with the added allowance. I'm going to impute it on the baseline. Then I'll connect with a straight ruler. So make your connection. We are almost done for the pattern drafting. So I've made my connections. Now I'm going to do for the armhole. I'm showing you that's so I'm going to do for the armhole. Just connect my armhole. The point is this: I have been cutting for a while, so I can gauge. But here I also showed you the best way to do it. You divide your armhole by 2. For the front panel, I'm cutting the front and the back together. You divide by 2, whatever you have there, you mark the midpoint there. For the front, if the person is well busty, go in by 0.5. If the person is not that busty, just do 0.2. Then you connect for the back, you just do 0.2. Front 0.5 works better. So I'm cutting out. I've cut out the back first. I separated it and I cut out the front. Then now I'm slitting the front. We're going to have blankets in the front, so I'm slitting it open like so. So this is what we have now as the front separated into 2. I'm going to that's a door face that I'm using for the blanket for the front of the dress. So now I'm going to measure the length that I have. I have 62. So that will determine I'm going to cut the door face satin by 62, the length that I have for the front. Okay, so I'm going to fold my fabric. I need 1.5 1.5 for the both sides, so I'm going to cut 1.5 plus 1.5. That will give us 3. Is it? Yes, 3. So that means I'm cutting 6. So I have like 4. When I folded it, I will have like 4 that's I cut total of 7. Okay, so this is me folding it together. So when I fold it, what I'll have is like 4. Okay, or 3.7 thereabout. That's what I had. So I'm going to cut, plus the same allowance and everything. So I'm just checking if my measurements are accurate. I'm going to cut. I need 2 pieces. So having 4.5 folded in 2, that means I have 7, right? 8 or 7, yeah, thereabout. So I'm just going to cut out like so. So I'm done cutting. I'm now going to slit open this one that I cut again down. So I just did it this way so I can have a straight line. Then that's the interface I'm putting to it. The stay I'm going to use for it. So I've gone off camera to gum my interface like so. Make sure you trim off any excess you will have. So I've now slitted it open. I cut a lining for this dress, but I did it off camera. I didn't show that. That's an easy thing to do. Okay, so now I'm going to measure where I want my slits to stop on this dress. So I'm going to measure it. So I'm going to sew this. I'm going to iron it first. Sorry, so that I will have a crease line. The middle point will show, okay, because that's where I will be matching. I don't want to have like when it's not straight. Okay, so you measure what you want. The opening I need is 23. Okay, so I measure to 23. So you mark there. That's 23. I'll put that in mind and I'll mark it. So for the blanket that I cut, it being folded into right face facing each other, I'm going to mark the 23 there, right there. I'll mark it and I'll take note of that because that's where my stitching is going to start from. I'm going to stitch from that 23 down to the end. So I'll have opening of 23 in the blanket. Okay, if that makes sense. So now I'm ironing so I can get my middle point, which I've done. So I'll place it right side facing each other like so. Okay. And I'll mark the 23 on the blanket. So my sewing is going to start from that point down to the rest of the fabric. Okay, like so, right side facing each other. Okay, just open it like so and match right side facing each other. So I'm taking it to the machine to sew and I'll bring it back to show us. Yeah, if this is your first time of watching our channel, you're welcome. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you get notified each time we upload new video. So now I am going to fold just as it is, like so. I'm going to fold in 0.5 on this side, 0.5 on the other side as well. Okay, and I'll iron and I'll do to the other part as well. Okay, because when I'm done, this is what it's going to be like. Okay, so I hope I'm not confusing you. Just follow the process, you're going to understand it. It's easy. So I'm going to fold 0.5, 0.5 here, 0.5 on the right, left side, 0.5 on the right side. I'll flip over. When I'm done ironing it straight down, flip over. I'll do the same thing on the other side as well. So I am done and I'm going to just close it like so and I'll iron. So what this process is going to make, is going to make it easy for you to match because you're matching your top stitching. So you will just have an aligned line, like, okay. So I'm going to iron down. While iron, make sure not to move the iron too much because if you're doing it, your folded line might be going out again, if that makes sense. Okay, so just take your time and do that. So I'm done ironing. This is what I have. So now I'm going to bring my fabric. This is the front panel, mind you. I'm going to put it like so, like tuck it in on like 0.5, hold it down, and I'm going to top stitch straight down to the end of the blanket. Okay, I'll do that and I'll repeat the same process on the other side of the fabric as well. Yeah, if you watched to this point, please like us. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're yet to do that. Your liking our video helps the video. It helps you to push the video and it helps shows that yeah, what we're doing, it's impactful. Okay, that's the best you could do for any content creator. Okay, so I'm repeating, like I said, I'm repeating the other process as well. And yes, I'm done sewing. This is what we have. See, looking nice. Okay, and that's it to the baseline. So you could see the inside, see that it's looking nice. So now I'm going to bring the back and I'm going to stitch the shoulder line. I'll sew the shoulder and the other side of it Then at this point, you could fix, if you're going to fix your zip. If you don't want to use a full zip for it, it's okay. You can use a short zip just to open up to the neckline. That means you're going to, when you're sewing, you're going to add ease in your sewing, okay, if that makes sense. But just follow what I'm doing, you're going to understand it. Like I said when this video started, put a zipper allowance when cutting, okay. So now I'm going to measure the neck round, and whatever I have, I will cut out a bias for it. So I placed my this fabric on a bias form. So it will make it, what it's going to do is going to make it stretchy. That's what, once a dress is on a bias form, it gives a flow or make it stretchy. Then wherever you sew it, it relax or drips. If you're making a skirt, it's going to drip, sorry, not drip, drip. Okay, so now I'm going to cut 2 inch. I'll measure 2 inch. Remember, we've measured the neck. Whatever I have is what I'm going to measure out straight. Then now I'm marking 2 inch because I'm going to fold and refold. Okay. So now I've ironed it. I added interface and I've ironed it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the right part inside from the front part, from the right part from the back part, and I'm going to sew, then turn and turn, stop stitching it on the front part, if that makes sense. Okay, so here I'm done with that. This is me making the sleeve. This is the length I want for the sleeve is 19, because I'm going to add one extra 1.5 or 1 inch to the to it. It's like a 3/4 sleeve which can be moved up when you want. Okay, so I folded my fabric into four because we're cutting two. So I will measure, remember the measurement, the shoulder to the chest line is 8.5. So I'm going to measure that, then plus my added allowance, which is 2. So that will give me this line that I have. And I will mark 4.5 or 4, sometimes 4. I'll mark it there. Then I'll go down by 4.5. I'll go down by 4.5 or 4 most times. The both works perfectly for me. So I'm going to connect that point together like so with a slant. Okay. And from that 4 inch on the upper part, I'm just going to do a little slide slant like so. Okay. Then that is it. Then the down part I did 9. If you're using an elastic, you could do more than that. But I didn't use elastic because there is a tie in front, so I added a rope to it, so I did 9. So I'm just going to connect it from this point to the upper point like so. Connect to the upper point and just connect like so, and I'll cut out. So here we have the sleeve. I'm going to notch the middle point. Just giving it a little more deepening. It's better to have excess than shortage when you're making your sleeve. If it's excess, you could always trim it off. But when it's short, there's a problem. So now I'm going to cut out a strap of about 2 inch. So folding it into two, that means I'm going to have 4 because I'll slit one side open when I'm done. Okay, so I'll just cut out. So I'm just going to slit open. So I'm done slitting open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it into two, and I'll also slit open the middle point. But before I'll do that, just to have a straight line, you will mark, use a chalk to indicate, okay, or you use your iron to do that, to demarcate it by ironing it. So all I'm just doing is showing the middle point, okay? We'll have ways of doing things. So that's the middle point. I'm just going to um, slit open there because I need a roach. I need to add a strap that will come out from that middle point. Okay, so I'll do that and I'll show you. Then we'll proceed on the other side of the hand because I like to show things by example. Okay, so here I've done this part. I just want to show you what I want to do because I felt I might be okay. This is what I have. This is what I want to achieve. All those demonstration I was doing. So now let's do it the proper way so that you can see it. Okay, so I'll fold in two. I'll slit it open. And I'm going to sew on 0.5. I'm going to take my tape. I'll mark from the upper part. I'll mark 1 inch. Then from the lower part, I'll go up again. I'll mark 1 inch. So the space I have left will be like about 1 inch space, okay? So I'm going to sew on 0.5 to that point that I marked, and I'll top stitch. I'll go down again from the other point. I'll sew down with 0.5 and I'll top stitch. Then I will iron it and fold it in again. So what that will do is when I fold this into two again to sew, it's going to come out, my rope is going to pass without any hindrance, okay, if that makes sense. So this is me showing you I've done that. You could see that I top stitch it. You're seeing it. I folded it in again. That's 0.5 left. I folded it by 0.2 and I sewed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it into two like so. That's putting the right part on the right part of the sleeve fabric, okay? I'll notch my middle point. I'll make sure just make sure the fabric aligns, then notch the middle point like so, and flip open. So the middle point that you sewed, that's space for the loop or that you sewed. You're going to align it with the notched part like so. So you're just going to sew. I don't want the English mark to show, so I'm going to move that in off camera anyway. So I'm just going to sew on 0.5 and this is what I'll have. I'll flip open. Okay. So what I will do is I'm going to pass my thread. When I'm done sewing it like that, I'm going to pass my thread from the right side to the end, and I'll top stitch the edge. I'll take it the other side again to the edge and I'll top stitch. I'll make sure the rope that I have left is enough to draw and tie, when you're making a bow tie with the the rope. So now I'm done with that. I'm just going to put my notch part, the upper part of the sleeve, the notch part to the middle point of the sleeve and connect and sew like so to the end, and I'll repeat same process. Then I'll show us. So I am done This is me taking the body measurement, which I've already marked. Okay. What I did was I marked my waistline. That's my waistline. That's my hip line. Okay. So what I did was to connect. I added 0.3 on both sides of the measurement. After taking my accurate measurement, I added 0.3. That's just for ease because the cloth is not going to be too fitted. It needs to have a little ease. You can do you can do 0.5 ease on both sides, but I did 0.3. Okay, so but the bust line, there was no added allowance to the bust line. Okay, the bust line, the measurement I used was the accurate bust measurement, which was 10.5. I didn't add any extra. But for the waistline and the hip line, I added extra. I added 0.3 to the main allowance to give it more ease because those I don't want it fitted on those other parts. Okay. So now I'm just going to connect. I'm just going to connect it like so. The bust line to the hip line. You see me making a little curve going in inward like with 0.3. That's just to give the under bust a little fit kind of. Okay, so just going to connect, take to sew, then I will sew I will hem the baseline as well with 0.3. Sorry, not 0.3. Hem the baseline with my added allowance for the baseline. Sorry about that. So yeah, we're almost done. Make sure to pin when you're marking so that especially so your measurement will be equal. Okay, your fabric won't move. So me, I'm showing you what I would do here. So with my added allowance for the baseline. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to like our channel, subscribe and turn on notification bell. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.